Welcome to our 10-minute essential Yogalates practice. This is a strength-based mobility class to help you reconnect with your well-being and cultivate a space of joy, love, harmony, and creation. We'll get started today lying down on our backs in butterfly pose, joining the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to splay wide, softening the hips, the glutes. You might like to close the eyes and perhaps place one palm on the belly and the other on the heart space. Perhaps gifting yourself these first few moments of practice to check in, to notice how you're feeling, and to do so with an open mind and an open heart, accepting whatever comes to the surface, and perhaps noticing if there are any sensations within the body. Maybe there's some internal dialogue within the mind. Seeing if you can make peace with your experience and begin to gently guide your awareness towards the breath. On your next inhalation, mindfully guide your knees in towards the chest. Extend your arms out wide at shoulder height, palms on the earth, and come into a reverse tabletop, aligning your knees over your hips. Shins are relatively parallel to the mat. On your inhalation, open the legs out wide. Exhale, guide the legs in together. And again, inhale, open. Exhale, close, continuing on with this movement. You might find it helpful to point the toes, point the feet to help you engage the inner thighs a little more. We're keeping that 90-degree angle with the knees. We're just opening and closing the hips, the inner thighs. Doing your best to keep the lower abdomen engaged. Pressing the lower back into the mat. Keeping both shoulders grounded. Softening into the ribs. And from here, flexing your feet, keeping the legs together, scissoring the knees, the thighs, the ankles. On your exhalation, lower your legs over to the left. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, lower your knees over to the right, continuing with this movement. So the goal here is to keep both palms and both shoulders grounded. So if you notice that one of the shoulders begins to lift as you move the legs in the opposite direction, this could be an indication to ease out of the stretch a little bit. Even if you only lower your legs 1 or 2 centimeters, you're still receiving the benefits of this core strengthening spinal twist. Allowing the breath to guide you here, knowing that you can always slow down or speed up any movements. This is your practice. Lean into your inner guidance system. Notice what's going on around the upper body. Can you soften the facial features? Unclench the jaw. Relax the throat. Beautiful work. From here, guiding the knees into the chest. You might like to place your palms atop of your shins and just take a moment to connect with your breath. When you're ready, extending both legs out, pointing the toes, releasing the arms, palms face skywards. Keeping the right leg extended and engaged. Inhale, bend the left knee and glide your left toes up towards the inner seam of your right thigh. Mindfully open your hip, your knee out to the side. Close off the hip, raise the knee. Extend the leg skywards, point your leg, point your toes, and mindfully lower down with control. Let's go again. We bend the leg in, We open the knee out to the side, keeping the hips stable, core is switched on. Raise the knee skywards. Extend the leg, point the toes, and gently lower down, finding your longest leg line. Continuing on with this movement, checking in with the rest of the body. Are you keeping your right leg engaged, pointing your right toes? This is a beautiful exercise to help us mobilize and strengthen the hip flexors, as well as invite a gentle stretch into the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, and it's also a lovely way to improve core stability. This is a really beautiful exercise to incorporate into your daily morning routine. Finish off your final round. Soften the left leg. Take a moment to notice if the hip flexors feel at all a little different. Perhaps one leg feels a little longer, or maybe not. And let's prepare for the other side, engaging both legs. Inhale, glide the right toes up towards the left knee. Gently open your knee out to the side. Close off the hip, return your knee skywards. Extend your right leg, point the toes. Exhale, lower down with control. Beautiful work. Let's go again. We bend the knee and glide the right foot in. We open the knee and the hip out to the side. Mindfully close off the hip, raise the knee. Now we extend the leg, finding our longest leg line, and lower it down. A few more rounds. Really allowing the breath to guide you here. If the mind begins to wander, do your best to stay present with the sensations that are unfolding on the mat. Notice where you feel a stretch, perhaps noticing where you feel some strength and activation of the muscles. Let's go for one more round on this side. Make it count. When you lower your right leg down, relax the legs, the hips. From here, bending both knees, returning the soles of the feet to the mat, guiding your heels in close to the glutes, and let's come up into a bridge lift, raising the hips, the lower back, the mid back, raising the arms overhead, resting the backs of the hands on the earth, pressing firmly into your heels, turning on the hamstrings, the glutes, feeling a beautiful stretch for the hip flexors and the belly. Exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time. Return the arms the length of the body, and from here guiding your knees in towards the chest. Interlacing your fingers around your right shin, extending the left leg out, coming into our wind relieving posture. Option to stay here, or let's come into a spinal twist, guiding your right knee across the body, and doing your best to keep your right shoulder grounded. Inhale, release. Guide both knees into the chest, and this time straighten your right leg. Taking one breath in wind relieving posture, and finding your expression of a spinal twist. Noticing the sensations around the outer hips, the glutes. Creating space. Finding softness. Well done. Gently release and find your way into a comfortable seated position. Roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, raise the arms, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Gifting yourself this space to honor your experience. Thank yourself for hopping on the mat today. Let us take one mindful breath to round off practice. Sending you love and light. May you be well. Namaste.